Men over 50. Let me ask you something. What if I told you there is a single point on your body that, when treated in the right way, can send a fresh surge of blood to your most intimate areas, restore sensitivity, and even help you wake up feeling the strength and vitality you thought belonged only to your younger years? Now, it's not on the shaft. It's not a muscle you work at the gym. In fact, most men never even think about this area, and yet it holds the key to circulation, confidence, and performance. For years, I have seen men struggle with pills, devices, and endless frustration when often the real solution was something far simpler, something rooted in nature's own design. I am speaking of castor oil, a humble natural oil that has been used for centuries for healing, cleansing, and restoring balance to the body. But here, applied in a very specific way, it becomes a powerful ally for male vitality. When used correctly, it can improve circulation, awaken nerve sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and support hormonal balance, all of which work together to strengthen erections naturally. And in this lecture, I will show you exactly how. By the end, you will understand why castor oil deserves a place in every man's daily routine, especially for those of us in our later years. I will explain where to apply it, how often to use it, and what changes you may begin to notice in the coming weeks. So please stay with me, because these details matter. The body is remarkably responsive when we work with it rather than against it, and something as simple as this daily routine could genuinely transform your confidence and your health in ways you did not think were still possible. Now, before we get to the specific spot itself, let us take a closer look at castor oil, what it is, why it is unique, and why this one natural oil has such an extraordinary effect on circulation and male vitality. Castor oil is one of nature's most fascinating remedies. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary oil, thick, golden, and almost sticky to the touch. But within it lies a remarkable compound that sets it apart from everything else. Nearly 90% of castor oil is composed of a unique fatty acid called ricinoleic acid. This is the key behind its powerful healing properties. Ricinoleic acid penetrates deeply into tissues in a way that very few other natural oils can match. Where most oils remain only on the surface of the skin, castor oil travels inward, carrying its soothing, circulation-boosting, and anti-inflammatory effects directly into the body. This deep penetrating action is precisely why traditional healers across the world treasured it for pain relief, for swelling, for cleansing, and for restoring balance to delicate organs. For men over 50, this becomes especially important. By this stage of life, circulation is often slower, inflammation more persistent, and hormonal balance more fragile. These three factors, poor blood flow, chronic inflammation, and declining hormones, are the very foundation of weak erections, reduced sensitivity, and the loss of confidence that can quietly affect every area of a man's life. Castor oil addresses each of them, not with harsh chemicals, but by supporting the body's own natural processes. Modern research has confirmed much of what traditional medicine long understood. Studies show that castor oil improves local blood flow, reduces swelling, and helps the lymphatic system, the body's internal cleansing network, operate more efficiently. When waste and toxins are moved out, fresh oxygen and nutrients can move in. For men, this means greater vitality, less congestion in the pelvic region, and stronger, healthier function. Now, it's important to be clear. The benefits I am describing do not come from swallowing spoonfuls of castor oil, as was once commonly practiced. That approach is outdated and unnecessary. The true power lies in external application through targeted massage, compresses, or castor oil packs. When used on the right area of the body, these methods stimulate circulation precisely where it matters most. And that brings us to the next critical point. Why circulation is everything when it comes to male vitality, and why improving it can make such a profound difference, even in the later decades of life. When it comes to male vitality, circulation is everything. An erection is, at its most fundamental level, the result of blood flow. Without strong, steady circulation, the body cannot deliver the surge of oxygen and nutrients needed to fill and sustain that response. This is why so many men over 50 begin to notice changes. It is not that the body has lost its ability. It is that the river of life, the blood itself, is no longer flowing as freely as it once did. There are many reasons for this. Over time, small deposits accumulate in the arterial walls, making them less elastic and less responsive. Blood becomes sluggish when the body is chronically dehydrated or when the diet is heavy in processed foods and low in living nutrients. Stress also plays a significant role. When stress hormones are chronically elevated, blood vessels constrict, reducing circulation to the very areas where it is most needed. The result is what so many men quietly experience but rarely speak about: weaker erections, reduced sensitivity, and a loss of confidence that touches every corner of life. Too often, the response is to reach for a quick fix, a pill that forces blood vessels open for a short window of time but does nothing to heal the underlying problem. But here is the truth I tell my patients directly. When we restore circulation naturally, the body begins to repair itself. Blood carries more than oxygen. It carries life. It delivers nutrients, hormones, and cellular energy to every tissue. And when circulation improves, men notice changes not only in performance, but in overall energy, mental sharpness, and physical strength. This is precisely where castor oil becomes so valuable. By penetrating deeply into tissues, it stimulates local blood flow in a safe and entirely natural way. When applied to the right area, it draws fresh blood into the pelvic region, clears congestion, and awakens sensitivity that many men thought was permanently diminished. This is not a trick. It is not a temporary patch. It works by encouraging the body to function the way it was designed to. And this leads us to the essential question: if circulation is the key, where exactly should castor oil be applied to have the greatest effect? In the next section, I will reveal the specific spot, explain why it holds such influence, and show you how men can begin using this approach at home to restore confidence naturally. If circulation is the foundation of male vitality, then the question becomes, where can we most effectively encourage that flow? Most men assume the answer lies in the obvious places: the shaft itself, or perhaps targeted exercises. But the body is far more intricate than that. And the truth is, there is a single spot that holds far more influence over pelvic function than most men ever realize. That spot is the lower abdomen, just above the pubic bone. This region sits directly over the network of blood vessels and lymphatic channels that supply the pelvic organs. Think of it as the gateway of circulation into the entire reproductive area. When this zone is congested or restricted, blood struggles to flow freely and sensitivity begins to dull. But when we stimulate it consistently and gently, the results ripple through the entire system. Castor oil is uniquely suited for this purpose. When massaged into the lower abdomen, it penetrates through the skin into the deeper tissues, encouraging blood vessels to relax and lymphatic flow to increase. The oil's natural anti-inflammatory properties also calm irritation in the surrounding tissues, easing the kind of silent, low-grade swelling that many men carry without ever knowing it, and that interferes directly with function. The reason this approach works so well comes back to a fundamental biological principle. The body is designed to heal when blockages are cleared and nourishment flows freely. By focusing attention on this overlooked area, men can direct a surge of fresh, oxygen-rich blood to the very place it is most needed. Over time, this restores not only physical strength, but also the confidence and vitality that so many men had quietly accepted as lost. And there is an additional benefit worth noting. By applying castor oil to this region, you are simultaneously easing the burden on the prostate gland, a small organ that plays a far larger role in men's health than most realize. In fact, prostate congestion is one of the hidden and underappreciated reasons so many men struggle with vitality after 50. In the next section, we will explore exactly how castor oil supports prostate health, why it matters so profoundly for erections, and how men can begin protecting this vital gland naturally. The prostate is a walnut-sized gland that sits quietly beneath the bladder, wrapping itself around the urethra, the passage that carries both urine and semen out of the body. For most of a man's life, it goes entirely unnoticed. But as the years pass, this small gland often becomes a significant source of frustration. By the time a man reaches his 50s or 60s, it is not uncommon for the prostate to enlarge. When this happens, the flow of urine weakens, nighttime bathroom visits become routine, and intimacy suffers. But beyond these more obvious inconveniences, an enlarged prostate also affects circulation. It creates pressure and congestion throughout the pelvic region, limiting the free movement of blood to where it is most needed for strong, reliable erections. This is where castor oil offers genuine promise. With its unique ability to penetrate deeply into tissues and stimulate the body's own cleansing systems, it helps reduce congestion in the tissues surrounding the prostate. By encouraging lymphatic drainage and easing inflammation, castor oil relieves internal pressure, allowing blood to circulate more freely over time. This supports not only better urinary function, but also restores vitality in the most intimate areas of a man's health. For men over 50, the benefits extend well beyond performance alone. A healthier, less congested prostate contributes to overall comfort, better quality sleep, and a renewed sense of physical well-being. This is not about masking symptoms. It is about addressing the underlying congestion that quietly steals energy and confidence as the years advance. And yet, circulation and prostate health are only part of the picture, because erections themselves depend on more than blood flow alone. They also depend on hormonal balance, particularly the delicate and often fragile relationship between testosterone and the stress hormones. In the next section, we will explore how castor oil supports this hormonal equilibrium and why calming the body's internal stress load is just as critical as improving circulation. When we speak of male vitality, we cannot limit the conversation to circulation or even prostate health. At the very core of it lies hormones, and in particular, testosterone. This is the hormone that fuels energy, physical strength, confidence, and sexual performance. Yet after 50, testosterone levels often begin to decline steadily, leaving many men feeling progressively weaker, more fatigued, and less like themselves. But testosterone does not exist in isolation. It is in constant interplay with another powerful hormone, cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. When stress is chronically high, cortisol rises. And when cortisol rises, testosterone falls. It operates like a seesaw. When one goes up, the other comes down. This is why men living under sustained stress often notice their vitality eroding, even when nothing obvious has changed in their lifestyle or diet. This is where castor oil plays a role that many men find surprising. Its natural compounds act as a calming agent on the nervous system. By reducing inflammation and supporting lymphatic cleansing, it helps lower the body's overall internal stress burden. When the body feels less congested and less burdened, cortisol levels naturally trend downward, and testosterone is free to rise and function as it should. In addition, castor oil stimulates circulation to the adrenal glands, the small but exceptionally powerful organs that sit atop the kidneys and play a central role in hormone production. By supporting these glands, castor oil encourages a more balanced hormonal output, helping men regain steadiness in both their energy and their mood. For men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, this balance is not a luxury, it is critical. It is not only about stronger erections, it is about a clearer, sharper mind, better, more restorative sleep, and the steady, reliable strength to live each day with genuine confidence. When the body is less stressed and less inflamed, it has the capacity to heal, to restore, and to sustain vitality in a way that no pill can replicate. But how do we take all of this understanding, the circulation, the prostate support, the hormonal balance, and put it into practical, daily action? In the next section, I will walk you through exactly how to use castor oil, where to apply it, how often, and the simple steps you can take each day to begin experiencing its benefits. Now that we understand why castor oil is so valuable for circulation, prostate health, and hormonal balance, the question becomes a practical one. How do we actually use it? Knowledge is only as powerful as its application, and the genuine beauty of castor oil is that it is both simple and inexpensive to incorporate into a daily home routine. The most effective method is topical application, massaging the oil into the lower abdomen just above the pubic bone. This is the gateway region we discussed earlier, the area that governs blood and lymphatic flow into the pelvic organs. When you apply castor oil here with intention, you are encouraging circulation to the very place where it is most needed. Here is a simple, repeatable routine. First, warm the oil slightly. A few seconds in warm water will make it easier to spread and help it penetrate more deeply into the tissues. Then lie back in a comfortable position. Place approximately 1 teaspoon of oil into the palm of your hand, and massage it gently into the lower abdomen using slow, circular motions with a light, unhurried touch. You are not trying to force the oil inward, you are encouraging relaxation and flow. The pressure should feel soothing, not forceful. For even greater effect, consider using a castor oil pack. Soak a soft flannel cloth in castor oil and place it over the lower abdomen. Cover it with a layer of plastic wrap or a folded towel and apply a gentle heat source, such as a warm water bottle, for 30 to 45 minutes. This method drives the oil significantly deeper into the tissues and amplifies its circulation-supporting effects. This routine can be performed several times per week or even nightly if desired. It is safe, natural, and profoundly supportive when practiced with consistency. And consistency is the operative word. Just as years of poor habits gradually weaken the body, deliberate and steady good habits restore it, step by step, week by week. Most men begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes within the first few weeks. Greater warmth and a sense of ease in the pelvic region, improved relaxation in the evenings, often deeper and more restful sleep. Over time, as circulation improves and congestion clears, vitality and strength can return in ways that are both genuinely surprising and deeply encouraging. And there is more to the story, because castor oil does not confine its benefits to the pelvic region alone. In the next section, we will explore the wider systemic benefits and why many men notice improvements not only in intimacy, but in their energy, their digestion, and their overall sense of well-being. When we first consider castor oil for male vitality, it is easy to think narrowly, in terms of circulation and performance alone. But the truth is that this oil influences far more than intimacy. Because it works so deeply with the body's circulatory and lymphatic systems, its benefits ripple outward, touching multiple areas of health that men over 50 commonly struggle with. One of the most significant of these is detoxification. The lymphatic system is the body's natural internal drainage network. It clears waste products, environmental toxins, and excess fluids, keeping tissues clean and free-flowing. When the lymphatic system slows, as it tends to do with age and sedentary habits, waste accumulates. The result is stiffness, swelling, persistent fatigue, and that chronic, low-grade sense of heaviness that many men have simply accepted as an unavoidable part of aging. Castor oil, applied regularly, stimulates lymphatic movement and helps the body cleanse itself far more effectively. This produces a lighter, more energetic body and less inflammation in the pelvic region, which directly supports stronger, more reliable erections. Another area where men consistently notice improvement is digestion. Many men over 50 quietly struggle with constipation, sluggish bowels, or persistent bloating. Because castor oil encourages relaxation and circulation in the abdominal region, it often brings meaningful relief here as well. A body that digests and absorbs nutrients efficiently is a body with the raw materials it needs to produce hormones, repair tissues, and sustain daily energy. There is also the well-documented benefit of reduced systemic inflammation. Modern research consistently confirms that chronic, low-grade inflammation underlies nearly every major degenerative condition, from cardiovascular disease to joint deterioration. Castor oil's ricinoleic acid is naturally and measurably anti-inflammatory, calming irritated tissues throughout the body. Men who use it regularly often find that not only does their vitality improve, but their joints ache less, their sleep deepens, and their mood steadies and lifts. And perhaps most underappreciated of all, castor oil invites a man to reconnect with his own body. In the pace of modern life, many men have become deeply disconnected from their own physical needs. Taking 30 to 45 minutes to lie quietly with a castor oil pack is not only medicine for the tissue, it is medicine for the mind. It lowers cortisol, calms the nervous system, and gives the body the uninterrupted space it needs to begin restoring itself. All of this builds toward a powerful truth. When we support circulation, detoxification, and hormonal balance through natural means, the body rewards that investment with vitality across every dimension of life. But to translate this understanding into real, lasting transformation, men need to know what to expect. How soon might changes appear? What is realistic? And how can consistency be maintained long enough for the benefits to build and compound? In the next section, I will walk you through what men over 50 can realistically expect in the days, weeks, and months following the start of this routine. Whenever we introduce a natural approach like castor oil, the first practical question is always the same. How soon will I notice results? It is an entirely fair and important question. And my answer is always this. Unlike a synthetic medication that forces the body into an artificial short-term response, castor oil works in genuine partnership with your body's natural systems. That means results emerge gradually as balance is steadily restored. In the first few days, most men notice subtle early signals: greater warmth in the pelvic region after application, a feeling of relaxation in the lower abdomen, often noticeably deeper and more restful sleep. These may seem modest, but they are the earliest signs that circulation is beginning to open and the nervous system is beginning to settle. Some men also report more frequent or firmer morning erections during this initial phase, a direct reflection of blood beginning to flow more freely through pathways that had been restricted. By the second week, the benefits typically become more pronounced. Energy begins to feel steadier and more sustained throughout the day. Digestion may improve. Inflammation-related aches in the joints and lower back sometimes begin to ease. For men who have been quietly living with a sense of dullness or persistent fatigue, this early return of vitality can be a powerful and genuinely motivating experience. Erections may feel stronger, with greater sensitivity and control, though the degree of change will naturally vary depending on overall health, lifestyle, and the consistency of the routine. Moving into the first full month, the body has had sufficient time to begin adapting and recalibrating. Testosterone levels often begin to stabilize, not through pharmacological force, but through the restoration of natural balance. Circulation in the pelvic region improves further, and confidence in performance naturally follows. Many men also notice greater mental clarity and a measurable reduction in the baseline anxiety and tension that had become so familiar it was almost invisible. What matters here is not only the physical transformation, but the emotional reassurance that comes with it. The realization that age does not have to mean inevitable decline, that the body, when properly supported, retains a remarkable capacity to restore itself. Over the longer term, 3 months and beyond, the results can be profound. When castor oil is applied consistently alongside foundational health habits, quality sleep, nourishing whole foods, stress reduction, and regular movement, the improvements compound meaningfully. Erections become stronger and more reliable. Stamina returns. Overall health feels more stable, more resilient, and more alive. Some men find themselves recovering a level of vitality they genuinely believed was gone forever. Of course, individual results vary. A man with long-standing circulatory issues or significant medication use may progress more gradually than one with a relatively clean baseline. But the underlying principle remains constant. The body responds when it is supported, gently, consistently, and naturally. This is why patience and persistence are not optional. They are the method. Castor oil is not a quick trick. It is a partner in healing. And for men over 50, it offers something that modern pharmaceutical approaches rarely do: the opportunity to restore function naturally, without side effects, and with the added benefit of supporting whole body health in the process. So, men over 50, let us bring all of this together. What may have felt like the inevitable consequence of aging, the gradual loss of circulation, sensitivity, and confidence, does not have to be your final chapter. Nature has provided tools that are simple, inexpensive, and genuinely effective when used with commitment and consistency. Castor oil, applied thoughtfully to that overlooked yet powerful spot on the lower abdomen, works in concert with your body's own design. It stimulates fresh blood flow. It supports nerve function. It balances hormones. And it helps restore the vitality that so many men have quietly accepted as something belonging only to their past. Remember this clearly. This is not about quick fixes or artificial solutions. It is about partnering with your body, giving it the steady, gentle support it needs to do what it has always been capable of doing: heal, restore, and thrive. With patience and daily practice, the changes can be profound. Confidence returns, energy flows more freely, and intimacy that once felt dulled can awaken with a new and genuine quality of life. If you found this message valuable, please share it with a man in your life who might benefit from hearing it. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing so you never miss the natural, science-backed strategies we share every week. Your health is your greatest asset, and it is never too late to reclaim it. So tonight, as you reach for that small bottle of castor oil, remember this. Sometimes the simplest remedies bring the most lasting change. Stay consistent, stay committed, and may your journey toward vitality bring you strength, confidence, and genuine joy. I'm Dr. Daniel Morgan. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and I will see you in the next lesson.